Number three. Number three, confidence. Now that's going to seem pretty obvious in the martial arts that you have to be confident whenever you do your martial arts technique. Because if you're not confident whenever you're performing your technique, if somebody swings something at your head and you protect it by going like this instead of like this, your arm's going to collapse. If you hit someone, instead of hitting them like that, I can't because you're scared. Your attack's not going to do any damage. You're not going to be able to kick anybody willy-nilly with a weak kick. Your attack's not going to do any damage. You can't pin anybody or choke anybody with a weak technique because it's not going to do any damage to the opponent. But having confidence can also deter people from attacking you. We've all heard this before. Bullies, criminals tend to pick on what looks like the weakest target, and martial arts can help you build up confidence so that you don't look like you are as weak of a target. But if you want to go beyond the simple ABC basics of it, you have to have confidence whenever you're doing a couple things. One is whenever you're trying to perform advanced techniques like pressure points, Kyusho Jitsu techniques, and also when you are trying to do breaking. I am probably not as strong as I used to be, even though I'm a lot stronger than I was when I started physically. But I could not break 3 boards held by someone like this. As big as I am, I couldn't break those boards unless I was confident that I could break them, unless I believed that I could break them. I had to go back and use the same type of visualization technique that my first formal teacher, John Hawkins, taught me, where he said, you stand there, you look at the boards, you stand there, you start thinking about putting energy through the boards. Don't hit the board until you see energy behind the board. So I had to do that to break 3 boards. When I tried just bap, I couldn't do it. And then after I did 3, I realized I probably could have done 4. There's a video of me doing it on YouTube, breaking 3 boards held. If I had had more confidence, I probably could have broken 4 of them. But I had the confidence to break 3. So I broke them with the palm strike. Now, some people don't think 3 boards is a big deal. I do. I think 3 boards is a big deal if it's 3 real boards. There was no spaces in between them, and they were held up like this by a person. It's harder to break some of the stuff that's held up by a person than the stuff you put in the apparatus that you break with your hand and with your foot. So I had to have confidence to do that. And with your Kyusho Jitsu techniques, you have to have confidence. You have to have confidence or it's not going to work. Now, that doesn't mean, it's phony, doesn't work. It not just talking about in terms of how you project energy into what you're doing. If you look at what I call the body language or the body motion, the way somebody moves when it's not confident, you don't align your body up properly when you're doing stuff without confidence so that you can execute the technique, even with this Kyusho Jitsu. I finally did a no-touch knockout a few months ago, and I had to have confidence to do that. I was feeling pretty confident that day, and then when I finally did it, I had my uke by the bed because I don't have anybody to catch people, so that when he fell out, he would fall in the bed. And I was confident in the method, and I did it, and he went out because I was confident. When I tried to do it before, I wasn't confident in it because I'd only done it once. When I tried to do it for grading, I couldn't do it. Fortunately, I didn't have to have it. That was like extra credit. And I had kind of done it before, but I was nervous. So I wasn't confident and I couldn't do it. But, when my uke asked me, hey, how's that thing work again? And I had just started practicing. I just got the energy going. I was like, you know what? I'm going to do this. I'm going to do this. And I didn't set him up for it either. I just said, just stand there. Bam. And he went out. So that's how confidence works. Now, me personally, I have to get my confidence back on my jump spinning back kicks and my V kick and my tornado kick. Now, this is the thing. I know I'm confident that I can do them under adrenaline because I've done a lot of stuff under adrenaline. Or if I'm really, it's like I call it somebody really spooks me. I've done some Bruce Lee level stuff straight up, even at my size, even at my age. People are like, but when I stop and go, I have a confidence issue there. So I have to get my confidence back on those. And I got to go back and do stuff again the way I was taught initially. And how you do that? The best way to build confidence with anything in life, but especially things in the martial arts, is the P word, and that's practice. You have to go back and you have to practice the stuff just like when you were a beginner. You have to have that beginner's mind, ever learning over and over again. So in a way, it's a paradox. It's like you're confident by approaching things like you did when you should not have had much confidence because you didn't know. But it's that process of going back to square one and redoing the things that helps you to get better at doing it. And once you have the body motion to do it, you can be more confident. So, plus that makes it fun. That is one thing I like about, that's one reason why I still fiddle with Taekwondo instead of like switching over to karate or something like that. Instead of just going completely Okinawan karate or just doing Taekwondo and just forgetting about the advanced kicks because it's not like I really need them in everyday life. But, call me masochistic. It's kind of fun to me to try to figure out how to do this stuff with an aging body. I mean, if it just becomes impossible, it just becomes impossible. But it hasn't become completely impossible yet. I can still do a lot of stuff because I'm confident in it. I just want it to look really good. I don't want to just go, oh, yeah, well, he technically did it. I want it to look crisp so that the confidence shows in my body motion. And that really just happens from practice. So now, a lot of times these days, if we have a problem with confidence in martial arts, it's with overconfidence and false confidence. Some of us get too confident because we think, because we're studying a style that's popular or that we see on TV or that our favorite martial artist is using, that means we're good too. So I want to make up a style. Let's say I studied Tree-do, because there's a tree outside. The art of fighting like a tree. So I studied Tree-do. I had my tree blowing in the wind postures. I can even get rooted with Tree-do. And I can do ground fighting with Tree-do because the tree's roots just be the tree and penetrate the ground. I can choke with Tree-do if I wrap my tree limbs around you to choke you. Tree-do. The Tree-jitsu. So because my favorite martial artist gets in the cage and he beats up people by behaving like a tree, I am confident that I can go beat up the bouncer at the bar because I practice Tree-do or Tree-jitsu, and he does not. You see what I'm saying here? What do you think that would happen to me if I don't really train exactly and have the same type of talent and the ability that my favorite martial artist does who does Tree-jitsu or Tree-do or Tree-kwan, whatever it is with the tree? I'm going to get chopped off at the trunk, right? I'm going to get chopped up by the roots because that's false confidence. I should be confident that I can defend myself, but I shouldn't be so overconfident that I think I can beat up everything, everyone, everywhere, every time. I can beat up everything. If you watch YouTube a lot, you know who I stole that from. I shouldn't think that I can do that just because I do it, he do it, that make me good. No. That's not the type of confidence that you want. But yet and still, I can promise you one thing. If you become confident with your martial arts, even to the point where when you move beyond the point where you're like, my body can only do the basic techniques, but my mind is so sharp and confident that I can make the 5 or 6 moves that I can do seem like 100,000 moves, or 10,000, because 1 becomes 2, 2 becomes 3, 3 becomes many. That's really the ultimate confidence. And I'm going to close. This is getting kind of long. You know, the guy who taught me to do jump kicks, helped me learn how to do jump kicks, he couldn't do them. He could only do front kick, roundhouse kick. And he turned me into a kicker. He messed up his knees with his job. He can only do front kick, roundhouse kick, and he can only do about maybe 3 or 4 punches. Maybe 3. Front hand. Front hand, he had a chop, and he had a reverse punch. He made those few techniques seem like many. And there's also a guy, he's going on to be with the Lord now, Mr. Tamai. He used me for a demonstration for judo. The man told me, I've taken judo and I've isolated it down to this and this. So I just gave away a secret. He said, I only do this and this. And I'm looking at this guy, I'm like, he was confident. This and this. That's all I do now. I'm older. And he was throwing me around all over the place with 2 moves. 2 moves. Now, I'm sure when he was younger, he could do a whole bunch of other stuff, but 2 moves. It was so ridiculous. People go, oh, that was nice. A couple of people said, that was nice how you let that old man through. I was like, I ain't let that old man do nothing. I kind of felt embarrassed feeling that way. I was like, I ain't let that old man do that. That old man did it. But he was confident. His knowledge, after a while, transcended the physical. Did that make him mystical and magical? No. It has made him extremely competent and extremely confident. So, because basically, the more time, energy, and effort you invest in anything, that's really where your confidence and competence come from. And as a critical thing to learn in life, the more you do a thing, the better you get at it. And it's definitely a core principle of the martial arts. So, you want to be confident, you practice. You study, you learn, keep an open mind, and you just do the best you can with what you got, and you'll be surprised. You may end up having somebody talk about you in a video where you can only do like 2 kicks and a few punches, or do 2 moves in a judo video, and people will be talking about amazed. I'm still amazed. That was over 15 years ago. I'm still amazed by the guy who could do this, and over 30 years ago, by the guy who only did 2 kicks. Peace.